Hey, welcome, everyone. You are listening to Bras, Panties, and Sports. Week 5 of the NFL is complete. And tonight, it's the 49ers versus the Seahawks to kick off NFL Week 6. I'm Spitface. Please welcome our host, the First Lady of Sports Talk, all the way from the part of Florida that didn't get hit by the hurricane, Cheryl Smith. How you doing this morning? We're so glad that you're safe.
Yes, I am doing well, and yes, fortunately, living on the east side in the, South Florida, we did not get the terrible Hurricane Milton, and our hearts go out and prayers go out to all of the people who were affected by Hurricane Milton and Hurricane Helene. There's been a lot of devastation in Florida, especially on that west side. So, our hearts go out to them.
I got a cousin named Milton. He kind of looked like a hurricane, but that's a different story, he was when we was growing up, he was always a kid who looked like he just rolled out of bed, He like, man, it's noon. We get ready to go, play ball or something. It's noon. And, he still looking like he just fell out, And I remember his daddy said one time, how, styles change, because he was really a little bit younger than us. Styles change and stuff. And and I remember my uncle said, my son looked like laundry walking down the street.
My goodness. Just roll, ready, roll. All right.
Just roll on, All right. This week on Shout Out, we have performances from A.Y. Lee. A.Y. Lee. Will he find his shining star or get the cold feel of the mute button? A.Y. Well, First Lady, we're ready. What you saying?
Each week we try to figure out what is going on in the sports world. Not the plays of the week, more like the players of the week. Are they trying to tell us something? So we ask, what you saying? Fly, little birdie, fly. Time keeps on slipping into the future. Time keeps on slipping into the future. So I want to fly like an eagle to the sea. Fly like an eagle, let the spirit carry me. I want to fly right into the future. The little birdies known as the Buffalo Bills wish they could fly far, far away from losing to the Houston Texans 20-23. The Bills play in an increasingly weak-looking AFC East. Are they pretenders or contenders? Are the Texans winning ugly, but winning when it counts? That's right. Playing ugly, but winning when it counts. Are the Texans a more balanced team than we thought they would be? Is it time for Bills fans to panic? Which team has a better chance of going to the big dance? Marvelous Marvin Hagler, rest in peace, Bernard Hopkins, Roy Jones Jr., and the Steve Miller Band are asking, what you saying? Yeah, well, the Bills are struggling. They've lost two games. Actually, they were 2 games through 2 playoff games. They lost to the Ravens. Actually, it was, and then it was blown out by the Ravens, and then down to the Texans. I mean, at the start of the season, pundits did not expect the Bills to be a dominant team. However, they got off to a 3-0 start. But guess what? It was against teams that were less dominant. I mean, these teams were probably mediocre teams that they won against. Now, Sean McDermott, he blew that game against the Texans, and the Bills should have won that game. His play calling down the stretch lost the game because he didn't run the ball once to allow the clock to count down. Instead, he kept throwing the ball and left time on the clock for the Texans to tie the game with a field goal and eventually win the game with a field goal. So, it just didn't make sense. He took blame for it. He took the shoulder for it, accountability, but you got to do better than that. That was a game that you could have won. Now, also for the second game in a row, the Buffalo Bills play, has been, kind of problematic. Their defense is not keeping, their defense is barely keeping them in the game. They, their defense is not as great as we thought it would be. But also what happened was their offense really has tailed off in the last couple of games. I mean, they don't have a standout receiver, Stephon Diggs is gone. They decided that what they were going to do, they were going to share the ball with everybody there. And it worked in those first games, but now it hasn't been working. They need an elite receiver to help Josh Allen, or they need to maybe run the ball a little bit more than what they have been doing. So, is it time for the Bills to panic, the fans to panic? I don't think so, because as you said, the AFC East is not that strong this season. I mean, the Dolphins are having a problem with Tua with his concussions. Now, I believe he doesn't come back until not this week, the following week. He has to be out for 4 games when you go on the IR list. So he has to be out 4 consecutive games. So the Jets, well, we know the Jets. We'll talk about them later, but the Jets are in a disarray right now too. So, I don't think I would panic if I'm the Buffalo Bills fans, but they need to get their act together. Now, the Texans actually kind of interesting because their record is 4-1, and the funny thing about the Texans, they are winning ugly, and they're barely winning the games. I mean, with a 4-1 record, they have won their 4 games with a total of 15 points. That's how close those games have been. The one game that they did lose to, the one game they lost was to the Vikings. They had a beatdown. They lost 34-7. But I consider the Texans almost to be similar to the Bills because even though they have a 4-1 record, the games that they won, they were against mediocre teams too. So, at the time that they played a top-notch team, they lost. So the Texans, Texans, I would be concerned if I'm the Texans fan. I have to look at their record, but I'm quite sure their record is not an easy task moving forward because, they did get to the playoffs and they won a playoff game. So I'm quite sure I have to look at their schedule. But I think still they would have a better chance of going to the big dance because of the fact that they have an easier road to win their division. Their division, let's face it, they really, they got the Colts, the Jaguars, and who else is in their division? The Colts, the Jaguars,
Titans.
And the Titans. Yeah, those teams are really... even though the Jaguars, I think they won 2 games in a row, I think, right now, but they're still 2-3.
They won 2 games?
They are 1 game. They finally won. No, they finally won their 1 game. They finally won their 1 game. So we'll see how they do. But I have to really say that the Titans have a better chance of getting to the big dance because the Bills, they still got competition with the Jets and the Dolphins because when Tua comes back, that's when the Dolphins will, the Dolphins will definitely be better when Tua gets back. So we'll see. The Titans, the Texans are the better team to me right now. They're on more of an upswing than the Bills, but I still wouldn't panic if I'm a Bills fan. All right, Spitface, over to you.
All right, First Lady. Bills fans, this is not the time to panic. It is not the time to panic. The Bills are still in the position where they will more than likely win the division. Now, Bills fans, you don't need to panic until the playoffs come. and the possibility of the Bills facing the Chiefs, because they can beat them during the regular season, but come playoff time, That's when y'all got to sit there and panic. What the hell are they going to do? Now, I do think that the Texans are a little more balanced on defense and offense than the Bills are right now. And part of that is that the Bills have lost players, or they have players who are injured, and so it's like the balance ain't there. They lost Stephon Diggs. While the Texans were already a young team that was building, that just shot off like a rocket last season. Nevertheless, they're still a very young team that's improving, and a coach that this is just his second season. So, it's not like the Texans have been, oh man, they've been going to the playoffs the last 3-4. No, they didn't. They just hopped up into a playoff last season and did win one game. So, they're not the Dallas Cowboys, thank goodness. But, so, in the division they play in, now, I will say that the AFC South can be a weird division, because it can start out one way, and by the time you get to the end of the season, everybody done flipped positions. And so it's kind of it's not like the NFC East, where you pretty much know who the players are going to be. Dallas is always going to be lingering around. The Eagles are going to always be. So, they got their own little competition. But in the AFC South, it's like, you just don't know what's really going to happen. And so that's sort of like saying that nobody stands out. And if one team catch fire, they can go. They can go. But I do. The Texans are really a balanced team they're still young and still. So I do think that they have a better chance of making it to the big dance, because the Bills will get to the playoffs, and with the Chiefs lurking, more than likely get wiped out. The Texans have been, sometimes ignorance is blessed, and when you got that youth, you got good talent, and you have plenty time in this season to build a momentum, start beating some of those teams with better records, you got a shot. You got a shot. Plus the expectations. Bills fans, glad that y'all, I won't say lowered your expectations, but you didn't already pencil it in that they were going to be doing their Super Bowl dance. So, that maybe that's because Bills fans are more realistic than Cowboy fans. So, that's all I'm saying, First Lady.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, they are a balanced team compared to the Bills team. The Bills need to run the ball. They've been running the ball, but they just throw the ball too many times too, and so that's the difference. The Texans are balanced with their running game and their passing game on the offense, but in the defense, obviously they have an excellent defensive team. So like I said, it's going to be interesting to see how the Bills will do. Like I said, many people didn't pick them to do well. They thought after what's his name, their wide receiver. I have a memory block here.
Nico?
No, not Nico. I'm talking about the Stephon Diggs. I'm talking about Stephon Diggs. After he left, they felt that they weren't going to be that explosive offensively, so they really need to, it's a possibility, Devontae Adams is out there. He's going to be the next big receiver that somebody's going to get, and hopefully he can put somebody over the hump, but we'll see. But anyway, it's going to be interesting because, like I said, the Jets, what they did recently, and Tua coming back, the Bills might not win their division. I just don't think they're going to win enough games to get a wild card. All right, Spitface, over to you.
Ooh, First Lady. Okay. Don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years, rocking my peers, putting suckers in fear, making the tears rain down like a monsoon. Listen to the bass go boom. Explosion, overpowering, over the competition I'm towering. Record shop when I drop these lyrics that'll make you call the cops. Don't you dare stare, you better move. Don't ever compare me to the rest that'll all get sliced and diced. Competition paying the price. I'm gonna knock you out, huh? Mama said knock you out, huh? We are talking about the knockout punch to Aaron Rodgers and the low-flying Jets have to lose it to the Vikings 17-23. The coach, Robert Saleh, has been given the boot, and Rodgers denies any involvement in the decision. Rodgers stayed way, I didn't do. Don't call me Tom Brady. So, the Jets' vaunted defense is looking less so. Rodgers is throwing interceptions like the 3 he threw in this game. Is it all over but the shouting when it comes to the Jets? Can Rodgers save the day and get them in the playoffs? Leroy Satchel Paige, Walter Buck Leonard, and James Cool Papa Bell are asking what you saying. And first off, First Lady, I don't think the shouting ever started for the Jets. That's one thing. I don't think any shouting had ever started. There was a bunch of hoping, but and at the beginning, over the last couple of years, everyone has said they got a great defense. They got a Super Bowl defense. They just need someone who can manage the offense, not make the mistakes, not throw the ball away. To the team in the other uniform, and if they could just get a decent, quarterback, that's all they needed to get over the hump. Well, I don't think it worked out for them, and I don't think it will work out for them in the future. And I think Aaron Rodgers is going, I'm glad I got paid. But this team is going nowhere fast. And at the end of this season, if it ends up being I got to carry today, I'm out of here. I'm out of here. I want another team, or it might just be time for me to hang up the boots. But Jets, it was all over, but there was no shouting when y'all hit the preseason. So that's kind of how this is going to go. And I don't see any coaching move that is going to save the Jets. But hope does spring eternal. He is that bad man. He got something left in the tank, and he might just have one last rabbit in that hat. First Lady, what you saying?
Well, I mean, it was a surprising move for owner Woody Johnson to fire Saleh in season. This is like the first time Johnson, 25 years as being the owner, that he has done this. I mean, and the Jets have had some bad coaches. I mean, Adam Gates, please, if he didn't fire Adam Gates in season, I don't know why he would fire Robert Saleh. But anyway, he did. And, the last time the Jets had fired a coach in season was in 1975. Charlie Winter was dismissed after a 2-7 start. So, it had been rumored that Johnson was not pleased with last season and the beginning of this season. And I think what happened was, this is the rumor that, what the pundits are reporting, that Salah was told that that game in London was a must-win. Now, to put a little context with it, Woody Johnson was the ambassador to London. So, he was in London. So, he had a lot of friends there at the game. And when they lost that game, I guess it was embarrassing to him. And that's when he came back and fired Salah. I mean, they didn't even, it was shocking to Salah, but it was another shocking thing. They escorted him off the premise. And usually they said that doesn't happen to coaches. They don't usually get escorted off. As a matter of fact, if you remember, a lot of coaches, when they get fired, they come on the news. I mean, they come and do a press conference right there in the facility. So it was interesting that Salah was escorted off. Like a normal person, when when you get fired from your job, most people are escorted off, but in the NFL, that doesn't happen that frequently. So the thing is, though, Nathaniel Hackett, the offensive coordinator, was the one that should have been fired, because that's been the problem with the Jets, is their offense, not their defense. Their defense it wasn't as strong as they expected it to be, but still they came on and they've been holding teams to about 19, 20 points per game. So, that's very serviceable if you can hold a team to 19, 20 points. You think your offense should be able to score more, especially with somebody like Aaron Rodgers as the quarterback. You would expect the offense to be better, but that's been the main problem. Aaron Rodgers has been horrible. The Hackett hasn't really been developing offensive schemes. We already know why he wasn't the head coach, put as the interim head coach, because he did such a horrible job in, where was he? In Denver, right? He was in Denver, so he did a horrible job there. So, Rodgers needs to come and do much better than he's been doing. Now, he is, 40 years old, came off a torn Achilles. So people really think he's Superman, to be honest with you. So it would be, the fact that he had the injury, so maybe he is getting off to a slow start because of the injury. But, he was trying to come back so soon. Maybe I'm wondering if that's been a problem. But another thing is their offensive line is still bad. It was bad when they had Wilson. It was bad when they had Sam Darnold. The Jets have never fixed that offensive line. You need to have a good offensive line if you expect your quarterback to be good. I don't care even if they're Aaron Rodgers. I don't care how fast he can get the ball out of his hand. You still got to have an offensive line. So right now, with the AFC being very weak, with the Bills leading 3-2, the Jets are tied with the Dolphins. So they still have a shot at winning the division. I think with them firing Salah, that is going to give them a little boost. But I still don't know if it changes anything if Hackett doesn't come up with a better offensive scheme to have these Jets looking good. Offensively, they just can't get too much done. So I still don't know. I'm gonna say they're gonna can he right the ship? Can Aaron Rodgers? He is that bad man. But he has to be a real bad man to get this ship on the right course. So I give him a 50-50 shot. That's all I can say.
First Lady, I'm with you on the 50-50 because he might still have something in the tank. But, I just think that the combination of age and injuries has just caught up to him. And everything, you're not going to be able to do everything you could do one season. Each season you lose a little bit. And in a game where a little bit is a big difference, I think that Aaron is still a top 10 quarterback. But he is not the miracle man. He is not the miracle man.
Exactly.
Now, but it does make me wonder. Aaron Rodgers had options. He had plenty options. And I'm still wondering why he chose the New York Jets. They were having offensive line problems before he got there. You know, just offensive problems. And he had opportunities, I think, to go to other teams that probably would have paid him about the same money. But why did he? I'm still shaking my head why he even ended up going to the Jets.
Well, the lights are brighter on Broadway. I mean, who wouldn't want to go to New York? I mean, if you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere. Isn't that what they say? New York, New York.
Well, I mean, but he had already made it. Super Bowl ring, MVP. It's like, hey,
But that would have sealed his legacy. The Jets haven't been to a playoff since I don't know when. So, they haven't won a playoff game, right? I forgot what they're right now.
I don't remember that.
I think the Jets are.
What?
I think they got the longest record. They have the longest record for something of all the sports teams. I'll figure out what it is, but they hold a record. So I guess he thought he could move them along. Because remember, they had a great defense. The only thing they needed was average quarterback play.
That's what everyone said, but it
average quarterback play.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's what everyone said. If we could just have average quarter. But there was more. I think people oversimplified what was going on that offense.
Yeah, they got Nathaniel Hackett. That's what's going on. They need Woody should have fired him. That's what he should have done. But obviously, he placated to Aaron Rodgers because we all know that's Aaron Rodgers' guy. So that's the reason why he didn't get fired. But he didn't put him as the coach. Wouldn't you think if he had more coaching experience than the guy that they put, the defensive coordinator? But yet they didn't put Hackett as the coach. That tells you something.
Not with Aaron Rodgers throwing 3 interceptions.
That tells you something.
So, but I mean, like I said, I still question him going to the Jets. Even if it was for he could have tried to. He could have went. The Giants would have made a deal. I mean, if you're gonna pick, I guess, like I said, they had the defense, and I think he bought into that. But okay, First Lady. Well, there was no shouting.
Okay.
First Lady, please take us
because he was
break.
escorted out. All right, stay tuned. Coming up next, we have a performance from A.Y. Lee on Shout Out Part 1.
Welcome back. The music flows in from around the globe to get a shout out from the panel. First Lady, I can't wait to hear the music from A.Y. Lee.
On Shout Out, we feature new independent artists who are looking to find their shining star. If we like what we hear, we'll give the track a shout out. If we don't like it, we hit the mute. Today we are featuring music from A.Y. Lee out of Durham, North Carolina, from his hit album, Because I Can. They say a fine blend of R&B, soul, and pop, sometimes sprinkled with a little hip-hop and rock, country, classical, or whatever else the musical recipe calls for at this time. All right, DJ, we're going to get a melting pot of music here. All right, can't wait to hear I'm Sprung.
I'm sprung, though she got me doing things I'll never do. If you ain't been, I'm telling you. I'm sprung, though she got me doing things things I'll never do. If you ain't been, I'm telling you.
All right, okay. That's a short. I'm sprung. All right, that's not definitely the original. I could have sworn the original was much longer than that one version. I'm gonna still shout it out. It's still a good song, even though he had a lot of electronic music or electronic manipulation with his voice that I really couldn't hear his actual voice. But the song the original is pretty much similar to that. I don't think he did anything differently. So just the basis on the fact that I always like that song, I'm going to shout it out. All right, Spitface, you hitting the mute or you shouting it out?
I'm not going to hit the mute. Okay. But, man, that intro was way too long. the rendition of the song was good. Was good. Wasn't great. It was good, and it showed the guy has some skills. It's just sometimes you make a gumbo and you needed to make a something. You needed to make a straightforward dish. But I'm gonna mute the brother because there's some skills there. I can sense some skills.
Okay. You say you're not going to mute him, or are you going to shout it out?
Well, I'm not muting, so I'm going to shout him out.
Oh, okay. Shout him out. Okay. All right.
Shout him out,
Okay. All right. So on part 2 of the shout out, we'll be featuring another performance from A.Y. Lee. Oh, now it's time for our performance. Is that the sound of our favorite underwater friend? Is it time for Flip It?
All right, it's time for Flip It. And I see that Flipper is running around. Flipper is like, look, I headed out to sea. And Flipper was not messing around with Milton. Flipper was like, me and my crew, we headed out to sea. And we came back around on the, where the hurricane was not. So Flipper is okay, y'all, And, but time for Flip It, while host defend appointed and flip the script and defend the opposing view. The Falcons beat the Buccaneers to move to a 3-2 record. We wonder, are they pretenders or contenders? Defend, Kirk Cousins is showing he got plenty juice in the tank. He's making them contenders. First Lady, when the Vikings let Kirk Cousins go, I was like, because he was a steady hand. But to me, Kirk Cousins, he kind of reminds me of Tony Romo, and that a guy that can play some good quarterback, plays the position well, but that element where he can put the team on his shoulders and get them over the hump just ain't quite there. And so that's what I thought. But then he went to the Falcons, and he been showing us a little behind. He been playing like a contender, and and the Falcons are reacting to it. And it's like the Falcons, they it looked like it was going to be all Bucks or all the Saints, but the Falcons said we back. The Daddy Bears is flying, so they look like contenders. First Lady, please defend.
Well, the Falcons, they have withstood the toughest part of their season with a 3-2 record, and Kirk Cousins has looked very, very good, especially after coming back from that torn Achilles. He's already masterminded the last 3 winning drives for victories. For their 3-2, they was 0-2, and then I think the last 3 games he's won on winning drives. Kirk Cousins has been worth all the money they spent, and they spent a lot of money. Let's face it, they gave Kirk Cousins that big contract, and you wonder why they gave him that big contract. I know why the Vikings didn't want to pay Kirk Cousins anymore, especially because he had his Achilles tore his Achilles. So they say, oh no, he's like getting a little bit long in the tooth, torn Achilles. Why should we give him all that money? But the Falcons wanted to, and he really wanted to move to Atlanta. I believe his wife is from Atlanta, so he saw that as a golden opportunity. And Arthur Blank, he said, I'm going to show the money. But Kurt has lived up to every billing that you had of him. For some reason, you hear the pundits talk about Kirk Cousins. He can't do this. He's not doing this, especially on National League games. He doesn't do well. But guess what? The man knows how to win. Now, he hasn't taken anybody to the final Super Bowl, but he still can get them to the playoffs. So I have to give Kirk Cousins kudos for the way he's been playing and rolling with this Falcons team. Now, Raheem Morris is making the best of his second coaching stint by motivating his team. They're playing hard for him, and they're showing they are true contenders, and they got a shot. Definitely got a shot of winning their division. Definitely contenders.
All right, so we're going to flip the script and defend. The Falcons are playing above their heads, and reality will catch up with them. They are pretenders. You know, I'm looking at the Falcons, and I'm like, go Daddy Blades, but there's that but. And this is a young, rebuilding team, and in a lot of areas. And the coach and the quarterback is setting a momentum so that they will do well. But when the show is over with, it's going to be the Buccaneers or the New Orleans Saints. They are playing above their heads, yes, and good. They'll be, because they're going to have some difficult days ahead. But with the momentum they have, they're building for the future, so it's going to catch up with them. And they need a few more playmakers on both sides of the ball. First Lady, right now they're pretenders.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, like you said, normally that NFC South is a weak division, but with the emergence of Baker Mayfield and the Bucs and Derek Carr and the Saints, it's not going to be as easy for the Falcons to win that division. And, the Falcons, yeah, they are playing over their head now, but I would suspect that they're relying too much on Kirk Cousins to be Superman. This man is older. He's coming off a torn Achilles. So, I mean, you can't depend too much on Kirk Cousins to be Superman. Now, he's been Superman the first 5 games and won the last 3 games, but they need to run the ball more. I mean, they got 2 great running backs. They got Bijan Robinson and they got Tyler Allier. I can't pronounce his name. But they need to use their running backs and preserve Kirk Cousins. They're going to run Kirk Cousins in the ground. So as far as I'm concerned, it's going to catch up to them as far as making Kirk Cousins a Superman. And they're going to fizzle out. And the Bucs and the Saints, yes, they are going to be fighting out for that division. And I'm sorry, it looks good now for the Falcons, but they are definitely pretenders because they're going to really run Kirk Cousins in the ground. too much in the ground.
Better than Panthers. First Lady, over to you for more Flip It.
All right, okay. The Cardinals beat the 49ers 24-23. We wonder which team will have a better record at the end of the season. Panel defend. Kyler is still a question mark, while the 49ers know how to win. They will rebound and have a better record. All right, defend, Spitface.
First off, I don't. I see a lot of talent with Kyler, but you know how there's that the guy got talent. The guy got talent. When does it become consistent? And when does he last an entire season? And the fate of the Cardinals lies with Kyler being healthy. and that's it. Because no Kyler, they ain't got nothing. I mean, and that's not to put down his backup quarterback or anything, but there's a reason he's the starter. He's the man. He's the guy with the talent. And as long as this is, and want to make sure his head is right. So I think Kyler can be hot. He can be like, ooh, and then the next game it's like, well, what you thinking, dude? And but the 49ers, one thing about the 49ers, they're well coached. They're a disciplined team. They got talent all over the place. Now, they've had some stumbles, but they know how to come back from the stumbles. And in the end, they will rebound. McCaffrey comes back. People, their star players start gelling again, and they'll be right out there at the end of the season, battling it for the division championship. And as far as the Cardinals with Kyle, if they just have a winning season, that would be good. That would be a good thing. But I think this is really going to be a year for Kyler to stabilize himself, get the team stabilized, and look toward the future. That's what I'm saying, First Lady.
Okay. All right. So, I mean, yeah, Kyler is still a question mark, and I still think the 49ers are going to win. They're going to actually have a better record. I mean, you were talking about a team that's been to the Super Bowl and to the championship game for the last 2 years. So, I mean, how are you not going to bet on them that they're going to have a winning record? More so than the Arizona Cardinals. I can't recall them. Arizona Cardinals. I mean, the Arizona Cardinals, what have they done? I can't remember the last time the Arizona Cardinals went to the playoffs. Did they? I'm trying to remember. Did they go to the playoffs since Kyler's been there? I don't think so.
I think he keeps getting hurt.
Yeah, that's right. He keeps getting hurt.
And they lose those games.
Yeah, and he's coming back from his torn ACL this year. So the thing is, Kyler is a good quarterback, but the 49ers have a better quarterback in Brock Purdy. And I think even with all the injuries that the 49ers have, I think Brock Purdy can propel them to at least a better record than the Cardinals, definitely. Right now, out in the West, all the teams are not really doing well out in the West, to be honest with you. So it is going to be a race to see who's going to win that West division in the NFC, because you got you have the Rams not doing well. I mean, the Seahawks are iffy too. So, I mean, I still believe in the 49ers because the 49ers obviously have the better team. They have more playmakers. I think they have the better quarterback. I think they're just injured. And Kyler has shown, and the Cardinals have shown, that they can fizzle out at the end. So, I mean, like you said, he's always hurt, and you have to have a quarterback in order to win this game. And I think Purdy has shown that he can withstand all the injuries and still at least keep the 49ers in the game. So I still think the 49ers at the end will have a better record. All right, it's time to flip it. Panel defend. Injuries are hurting the 49ers, and the Cardinals are finally healthy. They will squeak out a better record. Spit-face defend.
Squeak, squeak, squeak.
Looking at the, it's easy to predict that the 49ers, with all their talent, will get it together and, circle the wagons and roar off into another division championship. But, every team has that year where things break down, an injury here, a position of strength becomes a weakness, and other teams have start figuring out a lot of things that you're doing, and they're able to blunt them somewhat. It happens. And for the last couple of years, they've been pretty dominant. Well, folks, defenses start chipping away at that. Okay, because no team is perfect. And even though they try to improve, it's like, hey, if something is working, you don't make too many adjustments. But then what comes along is these defenses start targeting your strengths. And now all of a sudden you look and you got to have another plan. And the injuries pile up. Now, the 49ers have a few players that have been around, not forever and a day, but they've been playing. And they're more susceptible, I'd say, to injuries than the younger Cardinals team. And health-wise, Kyler Murray stays healthy through to the end of the season, it can be a jump ball for that division. The Seahawks are they're an interesting team. They can beat you, they can lose against you. So they're not quite a mediocre team, but in a horse race, you can't rule them out. The Rams, even though the Rams look kind of sad, and mainly the Rams, it's a bunch of injuries with them. That's another team with a bunch of injuries. So in that kind of mix, Kyler Murray stay healthy. They use that run game, and they stabilize that team. They could squeak out a better record than the 49ers and steal the division.
All right.
That's what I'm saying, First Lady.
They squeak it out. Let's look at the Cardinals. They have a good, Kyler is actually probably one of the top 7 quarterbacks so far in the season. Even though he's had that torn ACL, he's proven that he can still run. He's not having any issues. He's really passing the ball well. They have a lot of playmakers on the team. They're great when it comes to their offense. They got Marvin Harrison Jr. He's a top pick. He's doing real well. You got Trey McBride, James Conner. The offensive line is excellent. They have a great O-line that's going to protect Kyler Murray. So Kyler Murray has come into this season more focused. Hopefully he's reviewing those plays that he wasn't doing before. He's showing some growth. He's really doing real well this season. And they're definitely going to have a winning record. Now, the 49ers, you're right, Spitface. The 49ers, they've been on top for the last several years. Mike Shanahan has had the 49ers on top. They've always been on top, but sometimes the giant does fall. Sometimes it does happen. And right now they're suffering because they got a lot of injuries, and these injuries are going to start to have a toll on this team. Because if they continue to have these injuries and they continue to lose games, it's going to be a problem. And sometimes when you have so much injuries and you start losing, it's going to be very difficult for you to regroup, especially in the NFL. See, it's a situation when you're in the NBA, it can happen because it's such a long season. When you're at baseball, it can be a long season. The NHL, long season. Not in the NFL. You have, this year is it 17 games or 18 games? I forgot. I know they added one more game. So 17, right. So 17 games. So it's once you start losing, that season will be over. We're already in week 6, right? We are going into week 6. That just shows you how fast it goes every week. So the 49ers are continue to be banged up. If they continue to be banged up, I don't see the 49ers having a better record than the Arizona Cardinals. And maybe this is the year that the 49ers fall. And but they've been on top for many, many years, but sometimes that giant can fall. All right, Spitface, take us to break.
On the other side of the break, we have another performance from A.Y. Lee on Shout Out Part 2. Please keep your ears on those speakers.
Welcome back. The music flows from around the globe to get a shout-out from the crew. Spitface, over to you.
All right, on the second part of shout-out, we are featuring another track from A.Y. Lee's hit album, Because I Can. Now, let's hear Let Me Know. Let me know. Let's hear it. DJ, hit it.
But I find
Let me know. Well, A.Y. Lee, I'm going to let you know that I'm hitting the mute button. And so I'm letting you know I'm hitting the mute button. And I'm hitting the mute button because, one, again, what I said about that gumbo, just too much stuff. It's sort of like if I don't know what to do, throw a whole bunch of stuff in. And it really sounds, because I can tell you got skills. A.Y. Lee has skills. And sometimes you become a one-man show. Well, I'm going to produce myself. I'm going to do the music editing myself. I'm going to do, and you do it so much that the final product doesn't represent what could have been. So to me, the song sounds more like a concept for a song. You know, like, and I could get the concept. Let me know, and you know, so I get the concept, but the actual finished product, that is not what it should be. So, you know, A.Y. Lee, sometimes we have to step back and let someone else do the production and other work, and we focus on maybe the lyrics and the. I sense that you got a nice voice, so like I said, there's talent there, but this is getting the mute button for me. First Lady, what's the verdict?
Well, I'm going to shout it out, and I'm going to tell you why I'm going to shout it out. He has a nice voice. I don't know. For some reason, I thought that was another remake. I don't know if that's his original version of. If that's the. I thought I heard that song before, but I'll shout it out because I like the rapping part at the end.
Well, like I said, he got redeeming qualities.
I don't know if he was, but I don't know if he was the rapper on there. I mean, I don't know who. I mean, I just like that part of the song, so that's the only reason why I'm shouting it out. So that's my verdict on it.
You know, that's like it's like a buffet, and you find the one thing that you like.
Yeah, well, I thought the rapping part added more to the song.
Shrimp was good. They got a great buffet. The shrimp was good. You know? Yeah. All right. Okay, that is the end of shout out. You can check out A.Y. Lee at AYLeeMusic.com and the Old Grumpy Radio Network. If you would like to be heard or have any comments, please send your emails and tracks to talent@oldgrumpyradio.com. First Lady, over to you.
All right. As I had said last week, we will have the results now. In fairness to my production crew, I really got on them last week. So they were able to get 2 weeks of results. So now these results are through to week 2. So the first week, pretty much everybody had a decent week. Spitface, you got every single one right. You ended up with 90 million points. I ended up with 50 million points, and Dizzy Mac had 30 million points. Now, week 2, well, things didn't look too well for Spitface. You went from 100 to not getting any of them right in week 2. Let me stop. You had one right. You did have one right. So you ended up with a negative 105 million points. I ended up with a negative 5 million points. Dizzy Mac had them all right, and he had 125 million points. So, as of today, through week 2 only, Dizzy Mac is leading the way with 155 million points. I have 45 million points, and Spitface, you're in the hole for a negative 15 million points. So we still got some more results to get to, but we'll get they'll have everything done by next week. I do appreciate you, the production assistants. All right, so let's get to the current Week 6 pick. All right, we got the Thursday gotcha game, 25 million points. 49ers versus the Seahawks. Ugh. So I am going to pick the 49ers. I don't believe in the Seahawks. We'll have Dizzy Mac didn't send out his results, so we'll get Dizzy Mac results, and we'll before the game starts. So we'll have all that. Spitface, who do you have?
I went ahead and flipped the coin. I'm going with the Seahawks.
All right, you're going with those Seahawks. All right. Okay, so now we're up to the winners and losers. These are worth 10 million points. Great game coming up. The Commanders versus the Ravens. Spitface, who do you have?
I'm going with Lamar.
You're going with Lamar. You know, I'm going to take a flyer. I'm going to go with the Commanders. I'm going to see how hot. I'm riding with Jalen Daniels. I'm going to ride with him. He got the Washington-Baltimore, well, not the Baltimore, because the Baltimore is the Ravens, but he got the Washington DMV area all excited. I spoke with my cousin, and he says they are so excited in the Maryland area because of the Commanders. All right, let's move on. The Cardinals versus the Packers. I am going to go with the Packers. Spitface, who do you have?
Cheeseheads.
All right, you're going with the Packers. Okay. Buccaneers versus Saints. Spitface, who do you have?
Well, Baker Mayfield is my man, but I'm going with the Saints at home.
All right. Is Derek Carr playing? I don't know. I need some more intelligence to see. If Carr is not playing, I'm going to go with the Bucs. I'm going to go with the Bucs because I think they need a win. All right, Chargers versus the Broncos. Spitface, who do you have?
Broncos at home.
I have the Chargers. They definitely need a win. Lions versus the Cowboys. Oh, my. Lions versus the Cowboys. I am going with, I'm going to go with the Lions. Spitface, who do you have?
I'm going with Motor City, rolling with them Lions.
Right. These are some good games this week. Bills versus the Jets. All right, the Jets fired their coach. Bills lost 2 in a row. This is going to be interesting. All right, Spitface, who do you have?
I'm going with Buffalo. Now, Buffalo lose to the Jets. They got Bills fans. It's time to worry.
I'm going with the Jets. I think this is their bounce back. I'm going to go with the Jets. They got to do something. You didn't fire the coach. So Aaron Rodgers better come out with his best game ever. So he got to do something. All right. Over, under, push. These are worth 15 million points. Aaron Rodgers, 200 passing yards. I'm going to say if he can't get 200 passing yards, he need to quit. I'm going to say over. Spitface?
I'm going with the under.
You don't think he can get 200 passing yards? Oh, my goodness. He hasn't done it yet, I guess, right?
Hey, the Bills need this game.
Oh, Lord. Oh,
and the Jets ain't got an offensive. The coach can't fix that Jets offensive line.
Well, yeah, that's true, but I think he can muster up 200 points. My goodness, 200 passing yards. All right, Josh Allen, 2 passing touchdowns. Whose turn? Spitface, you go first. Over against those Jets. No, I'm going to go with a push. I should go under. 2 passing touchdowns. You know what? I'm going to go under. I think they're going to be more running touchdowns. All right. Dak Prescott, 1 interception. I am going with, well, he had 2 interceptions right? 2 or 3 last week. I'm going to say, who are they playing? I'm going to say push. What do you have, Spitface?
Push.
All right, push. All right, Caleb Williams, 2 passing touchdowns. Who are the Bears playing anyway? But he's been on fire. All right, Spitface, what do you have?
Push.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with a push. He's been doing about 2. Lamar Jackson, 50 rushing yards. Now, who they? I'm gonna say over. What do you have, Spitface?
And I'm going over.
Yeah, he should be over. Eagles, 125 rushing yards. Spitface?
They're playing the Browns.
Yeah, what do you have?
I'm going over.
You're going over 125.
Yeah, between the running backs and the quarterback, I can see over 125.
Yeah, I'll go over. I don't know. Eagles have not been playing well, though. That depends. Browns need to do something. Anyway, we will check out our results. All right. Moving along. Spitface, what is your top story to watch this week?
The Major League Baseball playoff series.
Oh, okay. What's my top story to watch this week? I think my top story to watch this week will be the fallout from the game, the first game for the Jets. I think that's the top story to be talked about. What's going to happen with the Jets after they fire Saleh? Because that's all they were talking about. So the next week starts Sunday. So, yeah, the Jets, that's going to be talked about, what happens with that game against the Bills. So that's my top story. Actually, I'll do another one, too. The WNBA Finals, that's a top story, too. Will Liberty finally win their finals, even though it's the beginning of the Sunday, tonight, I believe. I forgot what, Thursday night, I think it's the first day of the WNBA Finals. So we'll see how the Liberty does. All right, join us as we honor our veteran women on November 16, 2024 in Houston, Texas, and streaming live on our favorite device. To learn more, please visit honorourveteranwomen.com. honorourveteranwomen.com. Check out our current and previous episodes at braspantiesandsports.com and our Facebook page, BP and Sports. This is Cheryl Smith, the First Lady of Sports Talk, and Spitface. You have been listening to Bras, Panties, and Sports. See you next week.